Dynamic, if you could please send a test caption. Dynamic captioning, if you're online, please send a test.
Testing, testing.
Good afternoon. Loving this raucous crowd. We now have a quorum of supervisors on the dais, so we are going to call the roll to establish the official continued presence of a quorum.
Supervisor Arenas. Absent Supervisor Chavez. Absent Supervisor Smidian. Vice President Lee.
Good afternoon, President.
President Ellenberg.
I'm here as well. Supervisor Chavez
Supervisor
has joined us.
Chavez.
And I invite everyone who is able to stand and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to approve item 7, which is consider recommendations relating to certificates of appreciation, commendations?
Second.
All righty. Let's vote on that item, please.
That was Smidian Lee. That was Smidian Lee on that motion.
Smidian Lee.
Thank you. Supervisor Arenas is absent. Supervisor Chavez.
Yes.
Supervisor Smidian.
Aye.
Vice President Lee.
Aye.
President Ellenberg.
Yes.
Thank you. That carries with 4.
Thank you very much. That brings us to item 8, which is the presentation of the 2024 annual CalWORKs Achievement Awards. Little excitement. This is big. Honestly, I'm excited. I hope the rest of you are too. Excited to kick off this meeting by recognizing individuals who have accomplished so much, met such impressive goals with the help of the county's CalWORKs Employment Services Program. I'm going to start by inviting Rafaela Perez, Employment Services Director of the Social Services Agency, to share some words with us. Welcome.
Good afternoon, President Ellenberg and committee members. Thank you for joining us here today to honor the achievements of 5 remarkable families in the CalWORKs program, along with our county partner and employer of the year. For 34 years, CalWORKs has been providing families with the services they need to transition to financial independence. Throughout this time, the CalWORKs program has expanded its network of community partners and programs. So today, we're able to provide a diverse catalog of services for our families. Furthering the aims of social justice takes a village, and so we're fortunate to be joined by our network of county and community partners. Thank you for coming today. Working together with organizations like the YWCA and Calibri Pottery Studios, we ensure that the CalWORKs program gives families the best chance at becoming self-sufficient. The honorees you're about to meet, as well as all of our clients, have access to a wide variety of employment-based services, ranging from job placement, vocational training, adult education, and community programs. As CalWORKs families progress in their journey to stability and self-sufficiency, many receive supported services, including assistance with childcare, transportation, food access, healthcare, and housing support as part of their holistic employment-based plans. Today's remarkable honorees showcase the hard work, determination, and commitment that are needed to overcome significant barriers in becoming financially independent with the help of the CalWORKs program. On behalf of our CalWORKs staff, families, and community partners, I'd like to thank you all for allowing us to present the 34th Annual CalWORKs Achievement Awards. I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Rafaela. This afternoon, we are going to celebrate the outstanding achievements of each of our award-winning families, as well as the important contributions of our Partner of the Year and Employer of the Year. And my colleagues and I are going to take turns introducing each award-winning recipient. So please follow along as we tell their stories and congratulate them on their successes. Supervisor Arenas is going to first start by presenting the award to Marisa Mendoza.
Good afternoon, everyone. You just saw us like we were in the back room. You saw all the details of putting all of these things together. I apologize. I want to keep the focus on Marisa Mendoza, and so I'm going to ask her if she could please come up. Come on up, Marisa. Let's give her a big round of applause. Marisa, you're going to stand with me, and I'm going to talk all kinds of good stuff about you. I promise, it's all really good. Listen, you're our first Achievement Award recipient, and I know that every one of us who are supervisors is going to have a recipient just as who exemplifies excellence just as much as you do. But I'm going to begin with you. And share with our audience a little about who you are, okay? So you were born to a single teenage mom in a multi-generational home. And while there, you were exposed to an atmosphere of drugs and violence. And at 16, you found yourself unhoused and alone. And occasionally staying at the Bill Wilson Center in Santa Clara. We all love and appreciate that center. And as we are learning a little bit about you, we see that at 17 you became pregnant with your son, Jesse, who's now 13, and hopefully he's somewhere around here that we can also recognize him. And then afterwards you had your first daughter, Marisela, who's now 12. And we share something, Marisa, she was born premature, and I also have a son who was born premature. He just turned 16. And following, I know that you had some challenges also during that time with intimate partner violence. And that person was sent to prison. And I know that it isn't difficult. I mean, it is so difficult when you are in that situation and you have children that you have to shepherd and guide and love at the same time when all of these things are happening in your life, right? And so I know that life also brought you some hardship in terms of mistreatment. And I grew up on the East Side. I always say I was raised poor, but not poorly. Yeah. And I know that sometimes poverty adds a lot of elements of challenge within our lives, right, that we have to really achieve and overcome. And so I know that you eventually did that. And not only did you break from that cycle of poverty by breaking the cycle of violence, but that you did along with our Department of Social Services. But that determination was in you, right? The department just helped support you. But everything else was you, Marisa. Thank you. Yeah, let's give her a round of applause. I see that you moved to Texas after your second daughter, Zavia, who's now 6, was born. And you had to really go through some more difficult challenges, right? Life sometimes sends us through difficult cycles so that we can recognize. And listen, as a woman, I recognize that there's cycles in my life, maybe different from yours, but definitely patterns that we all need to break free from, right? And sometimes what we do is we repeat the same pattern until we really learn what we are truly about, right? And that the value and what we bring into this world is so inside of us. And all of these challenges allow for these skills and for us to break free, right? And break through. So I'd love for you to tell us about you, but here I am. I'm going to continue to share a little bit more about what Marissa went through, only to show about some of the successes that you went through. And that was first, I think, when you encountered Laura Bentoncourt, who is on campus CalWORKs liaison office, and it's led by Annette Gutierrez. You had a couple of people in your life that supported you, but most important, you supported you. And like many of us who look for support from behavioral health, I as a woman also look for mental health services during different bouts in my life. And certainly the pandemic brought us a lot of isolation, and we all benefit from that. And let me tell you, Marissa did all of these things. One, because she's a fabulous person. Two, because she had children that she needed to shepherd in this life. And she didn't just seek out support. She enrolled herself in Gavilan College in pursuit of a nursing degree. And she was able to attend her classes without any interruptions. She received some support in terms of for childcare, because that's super important. We cannot, like right now, my child has childcare, so that we can do our jobs here, right? You also receive some transportation support and just all of the things that make it possible for us to go to school, to get an education, to really bring ourselves into a career. And this is what you did. And you attended just rigorously some licensed vocational nursing program. And this is when really life threw you another curveball, Marissa, and your father was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer while you were going through this vocational nursing program. But yet you refused to give up, and your resolve never ever wavered. And you began participating in CalWORKs work study through the college, which allowed you to share your experience and offer hope to other students who are struggling. And Marissa, now I understand that you're pursuing your registered nursing degree at San Jose State. Listen, your determination and perseverance in the face of adversity speaks so much about you. I know I detailed some very difficult things that you went through in your life, and I read them, but it's not because I don't know some of these struggles. I know some of these struggles, and I know that we all know somebody who is doing their best out in our community, who is our neighbor, our comadre, our auntie, and all of us need some level of support in order for us to continue to move ahead. And I know that once you finish and do whatever it is that you're going to do next, you're going to be stellar in what you do. You're obviously chosen because you have achieved. And so for this, I want to present to you this CalWORKs Achievement Award. You can stand here.
Hello, hi. So I wanted to say I am so grateful for CalWORKs. I've been on and off CalWORKs since I was 18 and kind of just got like random jobs, got off, got random jobs. And when COVID came, this was like the first time I'm like, okay, I really need to start a career. I wanted to, you know, be an example for my kids, which I did. I've been working as a work study student with CalWORKs, the basic needs, since 2020. And with the help of CalWORKs, in fall, I'll be graduating with a total of 5 degrees from Gatlin College. I got into, yes, I completed the LVN program and graduated with that. I got my CNA. I'll be applying to RN programs, and I got into San Jose State's public health program for my bachelor's. But I couldn't do it without CalWORKs. CalWORKs helped me tremendously. I mean, with daycare, with transportation, with grants, with support, with mental health counselors, with the staff at my college, Annette, Olga. I mean, there was times where I wanted to give up and times where I'm like, I can't do this. And I didn't believe in myself, you know? And with counseling, with the CalWORKs, with my education counselor, everyone, I really made it and want to continue succeeding. And then for my dad too, while I was going through this, he had stage 4 cancer, and I was also his hospice nurse and helping him and seeing him while I was in school. So this is for you, Dad, and my family and my kids. Thank you, guys.
Our next presenter is Supervisor Chavez, recognizing Chiam Nu Nodia 2.
You look lovely. So excited.
Wow.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good. It's good to know you're all here with us. So I have the honor of introducing Chim Nu Rodia 2. And let's give her another round of applause. So as all of you know, a mother's love is filled with power and can be a catalyst for change. And that's exactly what happened with Chim. What happened is that when she had her youngest daughter, her husband left her. And at 3 days, when her daughter was 3 days old, or youngest child was 3 days old, she became a single mother. She was devastated and tried to come to terms with her new role as a sole provider for her 3 young daughters in Vietnam. Ngoc Bích Tu is now 12 years old. Hu Wei Chi Tu is 10 years old, and Feng Lin Tu is 8 years old. Struggling financially, she rented a room from a relative in exchange for cooking, cleaning, and childcare. She could not see a path to a better, more independent life for herself and her daughters. Knowing very little English, she bravely left her home in Vietnam and arrived in San Jose in 2019. The language barrier did not deter her from diving in headfirst to secure the American dream. She promptly started volunteering at her daughter's elementary school and began to immerse herself in the culture of her new home. Knowing she needed additional support, she enrolled in CalWORKs, where she met Lei Trang Tran and Christina Campbell, who helped her with resources that included a computer, transportation, supportive services, and after-school childcare. She enrolled in Eastside Union High School District's adult education and quickly excelled in English as a second language coursework. She sincerely thanks Min Nguyen for the wonderful guidance. And through a paid experience assignment, she gained valuable employment skills, knowledge, and abilities at the county's Vietnamese American Service Center, where she's always been willing to lend a hand. She also wanted to make sure we thank CalWORKs for giving her and her daughters the opportunity to thrive in their new home, and she is looking forward to continuing her studies and obtaining meaningful employment as a nursing assistant, focusing on mental health, the elderly, and childcare. We are so excited to honor you today. So this is on behalf of Would you like to say a few words?
My name is Rodaya. The first one is I want to talk about Champa language because I'm proud I'm a Champa language. ស្លាមតែអាយមីវ៉ាវ៉ានីឡាហូហើយរៃរកឡាពួយប៉ែសំក្រឺឡាម៉ៃវ៉ានីពីញ៉ាំងយ៉ៃធឿងប៉យ៉ាមីហួគេឡាអូគេអូឡាកំអឿនទូតែអាយមីវ៉ាក៏មកនេះ thank you and the second language I like to talk Vietnamese. Ngày hôm nay là một ngày lễ rất là trịnh trọng. Em rất là vinh dự được ngày hôm nay. Em không biết nói gì hơn ngoài những lời cảm ơn tất cả mọi người đã dành những lời ưu ái và những cái sự support rất là tốt cho em để ngày hôm nay em đứng trên đây em nói lời cảm ơn mọi người và em được nhận giải thưởng. And yeah, and I want to talk a little English because I
Because why not? You're on a roll. You're doing great.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rodaya. Today is a wonderful day. Today is a special day for me and all
Thanks, Jess.
all of us here. I'm honored. I'm a little nervous, but I'm very happy. My family, my children, and I are grateful for this award. I would love to say thank you, Miss Men, Supervisor, Mr. Rizwan from CJAM organization, over there. My teachers over there, the school office staff at the Overfield Adult Center, and everyone in the county CalWORKs program who have supporting me along the way. I appreciate all for helping a little children and me along the way. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening to me.
They're beautiful. Are those your daughters that are here?
Yes, my daughter over there, and she takes a video.
Oh, that's great. Good job.
Thank
All right.
you.
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you so much.
Congratulations. Supervisor Lee, representing District 3, is going to recognize Peter Off.
Well, so what do you do when you go to work one day and your employer suddenly tells you that your service is no longer needed? For some, this may just be a rhetorical question, but for Peter Off, this was the reality. Faced with an unforeseen ordeal, Peter came to CalWORKs to help him, his wife Amanda, and their 13-year-old daughter Isabel to turn their life around. Peter was a director of maintenance, operation, and transportation, and when one day he was suddenly let go. That very same afternoon, Peter and his wife scrambled to find him another job. They both knew that the finances would be in deep trouble when Peter is being unemployed. In the span of 2 months, Peter sent nearly 60 resumes to find work and keep a roof over his family's head. And at the same time, he attempted to apply for unemployment benefits, which was denied. To make ends meet, Peter had to use his savings and withdraw funds from his retirement account. And it was when things were looking their worst that Peter was introduced to CalWORKs. Peter's initial meetings with the employment counselors Lena Tran and Aaron Hume opened areas of assistance that he didn't know were available to him and his family. Peter received transportation supportive services and help with interview clothes so he could continue to look for work. Lena was also able to assist Peter in obtaining a bicycle to make sure he could get to the interviews, classes, and eventually to his new job. Through CalWORKs, Peter gained skills in Microsoft Excel and attended LinkedIn learning courses. And at the same time, Peter attended classes at Santa Clara Adult Education, where he earned a facilities management certification. Peter's hard work and determination paid off when he landed a full-time job as Executive Director of Family Operations at San Francisco State University. So now Peter aims to continue to provide for his family the best ways he knows how and wants to help individuals that are in recent situation that's similar. He strives to take what he learned from experience and pay it forward. So congratulations on your accomplishment, Peter. Your resilience and determination make your family future brighter every day. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to try not to get too emotional. Yeah, it was a very, very humbling experience. A year from today, pretty much, we were looking for work. Thank you, CalWORKs. Aaron, Lynn, Gilbert, Samantha, especially thank you, my wife, my daughter, and thank the good Lord that I'm working. Thank you.
It is next my honor to recognize Julia Vasquez. The road to success is rarely a straight path. Rather, it is often filled with twists and turns, surprises and challenges, seemingly around every corner. Our next awardee, Julia Vasquez, has skillfully navigated life's twisty highway, equipped initially with little more than sheer willpower, determination, and resolve, teaching her 11-year-old daughter, Julia Carrera Vasquez, that anything is possible if you set goals and keep moving toward them. Growing up, Julia experienced trauma as a result of mental and physical abuse. She has experienced homelessness, seen her parents and siblings incarcerated, and was incarcerated herself when she was only 18 years old. At 21, Julia became pregnant. It was then that she knew she needed to make a significant life change. She decided to seek assistance from CalWORKs after learning about the program. While participating in CalWORKs work study at San Jose City College and with the help of the CalWORKs liaison team, Julia was able to graduate with an associate's degree in liberal arts and behavioral science. Later, Julia exited CalWORKs and moved to Santa Cruz County to continue her education, where she obtained a bachelor's degree at UC Santa Cruz, go Slugs, majoring in community studies and minoring in sociology. But there's more. Julia then joined the master's program at San Jose State University, graduating with a master's degree in counseling and guidance. Take it all in. While Julia was working on her degree, she started her internship with Gardner Family Care Corporation as a mental health specialist. Julia's supervisor was so impressed with her work that she was brought on board as a full-time employee. But Julia's road to success took another detour when she was forced to leave her full-time job to become her family's primary caretaker due to her partner and mother's health issues. But Julia returned to the CalWORKs program later, where she received assistance from Bina Popat from the Office of the Public Defender for record clearance and professional attire from work from Godavari Ghosh at Dress for Success. Is that what you're wearing now? Yes, it's awesome.
Dress for success right here.
With the help from her employment counselors, Christina Campbell and Shirley Tran, Julia secured access to transportation, childcare, and vehicle repairs while gaining valuable part-time experience with the CalWORKs Employment Services Center as an ambassador. This experience resulted in a full-time position with the County of Santa Clara Diversion and Reentry Services. Woo! Earning a living wage as a community worker. Having achieved self-sufficiency, Julia is setting an outstanding example for her daughter, yeah, you are, and looking forward to her next goal of purchasing a home in the near future. Please join me again in congratulating Julia. Goodness. The mic's yours? That's yours.
Thank you, everyone. I apologize for being a little emotional. It's been such a long journey and so many steps, so many different curves along the path. But I'm very proud to say that I got here not just on my own, but with the wealth of community resources that I was able to take advantage of. I would encourage every member attending, every member of the board, when you know of a resource that can help somebody, please share that. That's what I've done my entire adult life, and I plan to continue doing that along my career path, because I feel like without all of the resources that I had, there's no way I would have been here on my own. I had the self-determination and the will, but every program along the way that I could take advantage of to help me and my family improve ourselves, that's what I did. And so I didn't do it alone. I had a community of support, and I'm so glad that I got to see several nominees that I also know from CalWORKs, and I'm so proud of every other person that's been nominated and awarded here today, and thank you all for being here.
Woo! Very impressive. I think somebody's going to take our picture.
Oh, if I could, one more thing. My husband, Orlando Carrera, who's sitting right over there.
Woo!
I love you, and thank you for being number one.
Supervisor Samidian is going to address and award Abdul Fawad Khalid and Nafisa Sadat.
One of the questions that I always find most intriguing at this time of year is, who are these people and how did they end up here in the County Government Center? So I'm going to tell you. Abdul Khalid and Nafisa Sadat have two children, a 7-year-old son named Mohammed and a 5-year-old daughter, Samaya. Are they with you here today? Yes. Why don't we bring them up? Come on, bring them up. Or are they hiding from us? Samaya, it would give me great pleasure. We'll give you a little encouragement. Thank you both. I should tell you that both Abdul and Nafisa worked for the United States Department of Defense while in Afghanistan. And in 2023, the whole family had to flee Afghanistan because working for the United States government had put them in substantial danger. Working through JFS, Jewish Family Services, Abdul, Nafisa, and the family found temporary housing, initially in a hotel room. JFS social worker Vanessa Cortez, thank you Vanessa, recommended Abdul and Nafisa apply for our CalWORKs program. CalWORKs employment counselor, Koshid Demary, then helped to provide laptops so that Abdul and Nafisa could participate in employment training, search for jobs, prepare for their interviews. CalWORKs even helped Abdul get a driver's license, and he eventually then became a full-time sales consultant with San Leandro Hyundai. And CalWORKs Family Services helped Abdul and Nafisa enroll in their housing support program. So with a little help from both Jewish Family Services and CalWORKs, working with our county's Family Services unit and Abode, they were eventually able to find the family an apartment, what I will call a real home. Nafisa continued to learn English, and with job readiness training, eventually found work with a company called American Royal International as an import-export specialist. So I want you to join me in congratulating Abdul and Nafisa and their entire family on this remarkable story. Now, I don't mean to mar the festivities, but I know my colleagues, and many of you know that 40% of our population here in Santa Clara County are folks who are immigrants, who are not American-born. And every now and again, I will hear someone ask in a somewhat strident tone, who are these people? And what I want you to remember is, and answer, here's who these people are. That is their story. Their remarkable story, their courage in making this journey is something that we can and all should be proud of. So let's give them one more round of applause. I want to present them with this recognition, and I want to ask the photographer to come up here where we can get a somewhat better shot. Peter, come on up, and whoever is over by the wall, come on up. And we want to make sure the kids are in the picture because they are way more adorable than I am ever going to be. All right, let's point this way.
While they are doing that, I will note that when Supervisor Ceremonial is finished, we're going to invite back up all of the awardees to take a group picture together with the full board.
All right. One more round of applause. We'll ask you to stay right there.
Would the first four awardees come on up, and if you want to bring friends and family with you, they are absolutely welcome.
And as you're coming up
And then we have two
quietly,
more.
I want to ask the family to say a few words. Forgive me, I was so determined to get the kids in the photo. So, go right ahead.
And following the family photos, we will do the awards for the Partner of the Year and the Employer of the Year. Go ahead, Mr. Khalid.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you so much. May 2023, 15, when we just arrived here to America, with my two kids and my wife, we suffer. I used to work 11 years with the U.S. Army there in Afghanistan. 2011, March 17, I just started my job there, and my wife was also working for the NATO. And when Taliban took over, that was a really difficult life. And I suffered all these explosions and suicide attacks. We lost most of our colleagues there, and that was, still I remember that. That's really difficult. When you are sitting with your colleague and 30 minutes before, but after 30 minutes, you are just collecting their meats, and they're not in this world. When we just came, we lost our family, father, mother, everyone was there. We just came here. We thought we lost everything, but fortunately, we just came here, we never felt that we don't have family. First people when we met, JFS family, with advice our family about CalWORKs, and everyone help us. The first day when we received $250, that was an amazing day for us. That was May 16, 2023 from JFS, and we supported our kids and we bought some snacks for them. And thank you so much for your help and everything. Thank you. Please.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy, and today is really, really amazing day for me. I was waiting for this day since I heard that you are selected. I am very, very thankful for my Jewish family who started support from our first day of arrival. Then I just meet County of Santa Clara, my manager, who is Karina. I'm so grateful for her. She is too much supportive. She provided what I asked. She didn't avoid it. Just she provided me for my children, child care, and for me all the opportunities which I was looking for that. And I'm so happy that when I arrived, I was thinking that getting job is too much challengeable. I hear it like that. But in a very short time, I could be able to get my dream job as an import-export specialist. In Afghanistan, also, I was doing import-export. I was working as import-export manager for the U.S. armies at all for NATO's. But I was not, when I arrived, I was not thinking that I would be able to get my job, which I have 11 years experience. But by support of County of Santa Clara, by support of JFS, I would be able to get my dream job. And I'm so thankful. Thank you so much.
District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4 honorees and family, if you like. Madam President.
Vice President Lee is going to come back up to recognize our partner of the year, YWCA Golden Gate Silicon Valley.
That's right, no worries. So come on up, YWCA Golden Gate Silicon Valley. Come on up. Welcome. Nice to meet you. Come on up. Well, years of living as a victim of domestic violence left a mother and her children living in a world full of fear and misery. She felt like no one would listen to her story and no resources were available to keep her out of the situation. Then CalWORKs connected her to YWCA Golden Gate Silicon Valley, who were able to provide her with counseling and assist her in obtaining a restraining order to keep her abuser away from her family. YWCA Golden Gate Silicon Valley's Domestic Violence Services division started out as a support network for battered women. Founded in 1979, Support Network provided domestic violence services, including emergency shelter, 24-hour bilingual crisis line, counseling, therapy, legal advocacy, and community outreach and education to individuals in Santa Clara County. In 2010, the Support Network was acquired by YWCA Golden Gate Silicon Valley and is rooted in YWCA's theory of change, which requires a continuum of response to the challenges of racism, sexism, gender-based violence, and they also offer direct services using a client-centered approach to provide trauma-informed care. As soon as domestic violence survivors begin their participation in the CalWORKs program, the county and YWCA take joint action on their behalf. A domestic violence liaison from YWCA is located outside at the county's CalWORKs office. Working together, the client, the domestic violence liaison from YWCA, and the employment counselor from the CalWORKs program create a welfare-to-work plan that's tailored to the specific needs of every individual and in keeping with the client's domestic violence assessment. Because survivors of domestic violence need much more than just a job, the YWCA and CalWORKs work together to provide the vital services such as childcare, food access, health care, transportation, housing, and ongoing emotional support. These initial resources ensure that domestic violence survivors, such as mother and her children, from the opening, have their physical and emotional needs that's met and allows them to fully participate in the CalWORKs Welfare to Work activities. YWCA has been a partner with the Social Services Agency for more than 10 years and has developed a collaboration that truly empowers survivors of domestic violence to achieve safety and self-sufficiency. So thank you, Chief Executive Officer Adriana Caldera, Chief Operating Officer Ami McLean, and the entire team at the YWCA Golden Gate Silicon Valley, especially the liaison Alejandra Cadenas. So we are grateful to you for helping domestic violence victims right here in Santa Clara County walk away from violence and towards hope. Thank you. Go ahead. You say something first. Down with the picture. Sorry.
Always a little nervous. I just want to take this time to say I really have enjoyed working with our CalWORKs partners. I couldn't ask for better partners, to be very honest. It feels humbling and an enjoyable and fulfilling experience to be able to impact real citizens right here in Santa Clara County who are facing survivorship. I do also want to mention we have a wonderful, wonderful, small, mighty team that helps get the job done, like they say. I couldn't do it without them, and we have wonderful advocates in addition to our team also in this space. Thank you, everyone.
our final awardee in the CalWORKs program recognition is our Employer of the Year, Colibri Pottery Studio. Hi, I'm Suzanne. On behalf of the Board of Supervisors, I invite all of you to join us in recognizing Colibri Pottery Studio as the 2024 CalWORKs Employer of the Year. Although relatively new, the county's budding relationship with Colibri has blossomed into an exciting partnership that showcases the best of what Santa Clara County's small business community has to offer. Reina Fernandez, founder and owner, describes her business by saying, "This place is more than an art studio, but a place to network, make friends, collaborate, and learn from each other." It was this spirit that led Reina to team up with CalWORKs Employment Services as part of the CalWORKs Subsidized Employment Program. Since joining, Colibri Pottery Studio has quickly become one of the program's most sought-after employers. The CalWORKs Employment Services Center refers clients to employment opportunities at Colibri, where each client is given the opportunity to interview. In several cases, when an applicant's initial skills weren't the right fit, but their potential for growth was evident, the studio created new positions tailored to the applicant. This approach has provided clients with opportunities to train for more advanced roles, such as reception or payroll. As a bilingual studio, Colibri has also created job opportunities for monolingual Spanish-speaking clients from the CalWORKs Employment Services Center. As an employer offering competitive wages, Colibri Pottery Studio has demonstrated a deep commitment to the goals of the CalWORKs program and an understanding of the transformative impact employment can have on people who are facing challenging situations. Since first partnering with the CalWORKs Employment Services Center just in early 2024, Colibri has consistently shown dedication to the program and its clients. Now, you are expanding to a second location and has pledged to prioritize staffing both locations with CalWORKs program clients. Colibri Pottery Studio's devotion to service, demonstrated through its deep community connections, has fostered a welcoming and inclusive workplace. Since establishing the partnership, Colibri Pottery Studio has hired 8 clients and expanded its reach by hosting 7 youth interns from the county's Intern and Earn program, providing a total of 15 job opportunities. This commitment to community and growth exemplifies the positive impact that dedicated employers such as Colibri Pottery Studio can have. Thank you so much and congratulations. Do you want to speak from here?
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here. I got sentimental hearing the stories because I myself came from a laid-off job. I got laid off from Facebook in 2022, and I felt like I was also looking for a job. And when I saw that the tech market was coming down, I took all my faith to open this studio. And now I'm employing other people and giving opportunities. So it's such an honor to be here. And Tashina and her team have always been working to the speed of light. Including the last 2 weeks, we are opening our studio on Sunday. And it's such a great adventure to work with them because I send them an email requesting more receptionists, more studio assistants. And the next day, I get people to come and to the interview. And I've seen, since I was a trained recruiter for Facebook, that they had to have so much requirements, and now I don't feel like that. I feel like I'm gonna give the opportunity to these people, and right after they walk out, I email them, this person is hired, here's the paperwork, and they work to the speed of light. They send them the next day, they're working, including last week, 2 people came to an interview, and the next day they're working, and this is such a great program. I'm grateful, and it's an honor to be here, and thank you, everybody, for listening to our stories. And thank you to my husband for working with me. When we open, we work 14 hours a day, and it's been a great ride.
Is this beautiful? I can't stop smiling. As president of the Board of Supervisors and on behalf of all of my colleagues, I want to extend a special thank you to all of the families who shared their stories with us today. You have left us all feeling tremendously inspired. I also want to thank all our attendees for taking part in today's celebration. Santa Clara County is committed to serving families in our community, and we welcome participation in this partnership. Kudos to the Department of Employment and Benefit Services and to our county and community partners for providing outstanding services in the CalWORKs program. Thank you for showcasing the exceptional work you do to the Board of Supervisors and members of the public. And finally, again, congratulations to our award recipients for achieving your goals. We all wish you the best of luck, much success in the future. And thank you all again for being here today. We've got more celebrations in store. Hang on. Item 9 is to present several commendations and proclamations. The first presentation for San Jose Spotlight is going to be presented by Vice President Lee.
Well, good afternoon again. Thank you. And I would like to invite the following reporters and editors of the San Jose Spotlight to please come to the dais. Morit Milo, Sakura Canestra, Chi Tran, Annalise Freymark, Joyce Chu, Jennifer Morrow, Vicente Vera, Nick Preciado, Brendan Pho, and the co-founders and visionaries of San Jose Spotlight, Ramona Juarez and Josh Bruce. Please come up. Oh, she's taking pictures. Okay, all right. There we go. All right, well, this will be the most best covered article today, I think, for Spotlight. So, first, I would like us to recognize the excellence of San Jose Spotlight, Silicon Valley's premier and first nonprofit news organization dedicated to the civic-minded journalism that disrupts the status quo. Through its vigilant and steadfast commitment to San Jose and the surrounding areas, San Jose Spotlight has uplifted marginalized voices, holds power to account, and paves the way for change. Since it was founded in 2019, right before COVID, San Jose Spotlight journalism has made an extraordinary impact in Silicon Valley by igniting civic engagement, educating residents, providing more transparency of our local governments, and strengthening our democracy. And within these last 5 years, this news organization has won more than 20 state and national awards for the public service journalism. And early this year, San Jose Spotlight brought home 7 California Journalism Awards in the annual contest sponsored by the California News Publishers Association, including 4 first-place wins. So the fact back there with this commendation, and I'm going to just read only one of the whereases on the commendation, because whereases San Jose Spotlight Journalism solves readers' problems, provides information needed to create change, and leads to better informed citizens who can make better decisions, shifting power from those who have it and to those who need it. Now, therefore be resolved that the Board of Supervisors of County of Santa Clara does hereby recognize and commend San Jose Spotlight for its dedication and service to empowering Santa Clara residents. Thank you.
See, who said politicians and reporters can't get along? It happens. So thank you, Supervisor Lee, and the rest of the guys, Supervisor Reyes, Chavez, Semidian, and President Ellenberg. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Okay, where do I start? Well, we're truly honored by this recognition and the county's acknowledgement that our mission to inform, to educate, to empower those who live and work in Santa Clara County through our reporting, that really feels like something amazing to us. I mean, we're a news outlet. We're standing here in front of a political organization. We all know the importance of government transparency, and we recognize the vital role that we play as a news organization to keep our community informed in a fair and unbiased manner. Excuse me. We also recognize the difficult decisions that those working in government make on a daily basis. And yet we feel obligated and responsible to make sure that all citizens in our county know what the issues are and what the actions are taken by local officials. That's our job. That's what we do. And although there are times when reporters and officials do disagree, this commendation speaks to the county's understanding of our purpose and our role in monitoring government accountability, and that all of you still answer our phone calls. So for us, as we head into our 6th year, our mission remains clear and unwavering. We will be out there every day covering the stories that matter, telling the stories that go untold, and reinvigorating our community and all their engagement. Because we strongly believe that reporting the news, especially local news, is a fundamental cornerstone of democracy. So from all of us here to all of you, and from our co-founders, Ramona Guares and Josh Barus, who can't be here today, we want to thank you very much for this accommodation. We're truly honored. Thank you.
I don't know where we're supposed to stand. Let's do it over there. This is over there. Let's do it over this side.
Let's go, Jen.
Well, actually, do we get to invite the whole board to come down? Supervisor Ellenberg? I think.
Okay,
Yes, yes, sorry, yeah, it's a full-on recommendation, so, yep, we got everybody down here, too, so. All right, what we'll do is we'll actually turn around and face this way, all right? So we're facing that way, so it's middle right here.
Chairs.
Three of you.
Three of the spotlight people?
Yes.
In the spotlight? Well, I need to get it.
Yes, we got the big thing. Yes. Sit down, please. Good, perfect.
No, we have people sitting. Okay. Hey, why all the girls? Go sit. Vincent? Why? You look so past Vincent.
Perfect, there we go. Where'd all those cameras come from? It'd be nice to meet on those deadlines, okay? I really try.
Our next commendation for Hidden Villa on the occasion of its 100th anniversary will be presented by Supervisor Ceremonial.
And if the question is just how shameless can I be, the answer is I'm hoping the spotlight people will stick around for another minute to cover the important and good work that has been done for 100 years by the folks at Hidden Villa. Indeed, that's the reason I'm standing here, because Hidden Villa, a 1,600-acre outdoor refuge in the foothills of the Santa Cruz Mountains in Los Altos Hills in my district, is celebrating its centennial. I know this guy. And a centennial means that Hidden Villa has for 100 years been nurturing hearts, nourishing minds, and fostering friendships. It does even more than that, though. Hidden Villa feeds thousands of people each year with fresh produce, meat, eggs. Annually, I'm told that as much as 11,000 pounds of produce, and that's a lot of lettuce, 11,000 pounds of produce is donated to local food banks and distributed to unhoused and underserved families. And that there are, in fact, 125 families that are members of the community-supported agriculture program at Hidden Villa who receive weekly food distribution throughout the growing season. Now, when you're recognizing and celebrating 100 years, you have to take a minute, I think, to recognize and celebrate the fact that somebody had a vision 100 years ago. This 100 years didn't happen by accident. It happened because back in 1924, two visionaries named Frank and Josephine Duveneck had a vision, and their vision was to build a sustainable, healthy, and just future for all. Back in 1924, that was considered a little out there. But upon their passing, when Frank and Josephine passed away, Hidden Villa was donated to a nonprofit trust so that their legacy of peace and healing and learning and nourishment would live on for generations. Hidden Villa is home to all manner of wonderful spaces. And I know Elliot's dressed like that and I'm dressed like this, but yes, I have actually walked the grounds many a time at Hidden Villa. There are whimsical gardens, there are miles of wooded hiking trails, there's a regenerative farm with fruits and vegetables and animals, including pigs and chickens and goats, historic buildings, including an 1860s era barn, a blacksmith forge, and each year Hidden Villa serves more than 30,000 people who visit this special place that is Hidden Villa. Now, many of them are kids and teens, and they engage in a wide variety of programs and activities centered on food and nature and outdoor education. The children and teens who participate in Hidden Villa programs spend time on the farm caring for animals. Many of them would never have had this experience otherwise. They do planting and harvesting. They're learning about food justice and the critical need to provide universal access to nutritious and affordable food for all people. And a special shout out to the Hidden Villa staff, interns, and volunteers. The volunteers, join with the staff and the interns in learning these regenerative agriculture practices. They get the tools they need to pursue careers in farming, and within Hidden Villa's 1,600 acres of preserved open space, there are 8 miles of hiking trails, but those 8 miles connect to yet another 57 miles of open space trails, so it's really an extraordinary asset for the entire community. For those of you who are interested in developing a greater understanding of what they're experiencing at Hidden Villa, there are classes and hikes that are led by trained naturalists. They cover topics from plant and wildflower types to bird species and more than you can imagine. There are probably more than 10,000 students who benefit from Hidden Villa's hands-on educational programs every year, and that puts them directly in nature for what the folks at Hidden Villa call, and I love this phrase, screen-free learning, meaning you're not looking out the window, you're in it, you're there. Screen-free learning, and that range on a day-to-day basis from day camps to overnight camps to backpacking excursions, school visits, and weekly classes. And because it was the vision of Frank and Josephine Duveneck a century ago, Hidden Villa works hard and successfully to ensure that all students have access to Hidden Villa's outdoor education programs, regardless of their family's financial circumstances. They offer financial aid for students in need so that they too can participate in the summer camp and field trip programs. So I've got Elliot right here with me. Elliot managed to arrive as the new exec just in time to celebrate the 100th anniversary, but I want to welcome him, give him a chance to say a few words, but only after saying once again how very, very blessed I feel my district and the entire county are to have Hidden Villa welcome school groups, summer campers, family gatherings, corporate volunteers, really almost any individual who's looking for an escape and some measure of respite, to learn about farming, observe the plants and the wildlife, and connect with one another and with this planet. Thank them, please, for 100 years of extraordinary work. Elliot? Say a word.
Before we go too far, Supervisor Joe Simitian, I do have one item that might pair well with your rather formal outfit, and that is a hat for your 100th anniversary.
Elliot, I have a rule after 41 years in public service, actually 2 rules. I don't kiss babies and I don't wear hats. But I can tell I've got some attitude in the room, so. Go ahead, say a word.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe, and thank you, Supervisor Arenas, Chavez, Lee, Ellenberg, Williams, Lopresti, and Simitian. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the entire staff and their leadership, and it's an inspiring and impressive day. I don't know if you felt a tear come up earlier today with the programs, but I would like to propose an after farm to fork for all of the folks who've been here, who've been celebrated today. It's incredible. For more than 100 years, Hidden Villa has created many futures. Leaders and learners come to Hidden Villa to connect, make meaning, act, and then live Hidden Villa experiences multiplied across their lifetimes. It's impossible to fully quantify or understand the impact of a place like Hidden Villa, and many places like it, that have led on into so many lives, and the impact from today weaving into so many futures. So today we're kicking off Hidden Villa Forever. It's our centennial. The impact continues each and every day as kids of all ages, by the way, that includes you, who thrive at Hidden Villa with our values for access, exploration, stewardship, community, respect, understanding, diversity, inclusion, discussion, reflection, and social change. This is a place where you belong. It's also a place where change is happening. We've learned long ago that education does not happen in front of screens, as Joe mentioned. It doesn't happen in front of an app. It's happening everywhere and all the time. And we have a new role to play. That new role, we're engaging with young minds, discovering their aspirations for a better world. They want collaboration. They want hands-on experiences. They want, above all, to be seen and heard in their educational journey. They also want what we want. They want healthy local food systems. They want climate change mitigation. They want place-based outdoor education for all. And they want an anti-racist, just society. This is all at the center of our new vision that we've just finished for 2024, Hidden Villa Forever. And it's not about guesswork or a top-down design. It's about a holistic approach that involves youth and community at the center of the process, reshaping how we provide of, by, and for all. So I just want to say thank you, Joe. There's one other thing. With the challenges and inequities that we find ourselves in society facing, Hidden Villa also finds hope in the intentional, disruptive, and passionate efforts of young people. Their commitment is why we're here, and it unlocks the mystery of what comes next. The young voices are rising, working collaboratively, sharing passions and ideas, and yes, Frank and Josephine Duvenek have already yielded the stage to them. So with that, I just want to say, join us. hiddenvilla.org. Raise your hand if you've ever been to Hidden Villa. In a quick moment, we're going to double that. I just want to say again, Supervisor Simidian, thank you so much for the honor of being part of this. Appreciate it.
Colleagues, please come down for a photo. And Elliot, can't resist, tip of the hat to Hidden Villa, and another round of applause, please. Come on down.
I know. Are you leaving on for your picture?
Thank you so much.
You leaving on for your picture?
Thank you.
Elliot, hold that gorgeous flag up. Okay. There you go.
Oh, there you go. He's done this before.
Thank you all so much.
One more. Big one. The big one.
Thank you so much.
And while many of you may not have been paying attention, earlier today our board took action to declare September 21st through September 29th Compassion Week. And if you are not yet familiar with Compassion Week, what I want to share with you is that Compassion Week brings people of all ages and abilities from a wide range of backgrounds together for a week to begin, to build a strong, compassionate, and empathetic community. With volunteer opportunities, participants have the opportunity to expand their understanding of local needs and local organizations who are stepping up to meet those needs. And it's an activity that my office and I are really delighted to take direct part in these last few years. Compassion Week actually started as an initiative of the Los Altos United Methodist Church, more than a decade ago, in an effort to support that congregation with opportunities to engage in service and justice work as an expression of their faith. But it now operates in partnership with multiple local faith organizations, the Los Altos Mountain View Community Foundation, supported by Fremont Bank, and in a very modest way with a small sponsorship from our own District 5 office. Since its inception of a dozen years ago, more than 24,000 volunteers have participated in 1,900 Compassion Week projects and activities, one of which must have been counting all the activities and the volunteers, at nearly 90 organizations here in the South Bay and on the peninsula in both Santa Clara County and San Mateo County. Now this year, already 2,000 volunteers have signed up to get involved. We're hoping to double that number to get to 4,000. That seems like a not too subtle hint. That's because that's what it is. But I have to tell you the personal story that drew me in. I was working closely in the North County district that I represent, North County and West Valley, and was invited to a farewell for Pastor Kathy, who was retiring from her leadership at the congregation. And a wonderful woman came up to me and said, "You know, I know you're here to honor Pastor Kathy, but can I join you at dinner?" And I thought, well, isn't that a sweet and gracious gesture? And then 5 minutes after we had sat down and exchanged pleasantries, she started to talk to me about how my office and I might help with Compassion Week. And she just reeled me in. So these last few years, my office and I have been taking part We make it a practice to sponsor Compassion Week because Compassion Week does its good work in so many different communities over such a broad region, in so many different arenas where help is needed. And this year, folks can sign up to support more than 50 different local nonprofits working in these two counties and even beyond. And the work is often focused on education or access to basic needs like healthcare or food, shelter, as well as supporting veterans, older adults, and environmental protection. To make Compassion Week successful, they need more volunteers. And every volunteer I've ever talked to tells me they are so, so glad they did volunteer, and many of them decide they're going to go on and be volunteers for weeks and months and even years ahead. So please join me in welcoming and thanking one of Compassion Week's co-founders, Jan McDaniel. Jan, would you come on up, say a few words, and we will hand you the proclamation that makes this an official Compassion Week activity. What should we know?
I got here a little early and was able to listen to some of the earlier CalWORKs recipients and heard them mentioning organizations like Jewish Family Services, like Gardner. These are organizations that Compassion Week supports. We'll be doing work with Jewish Family Services, again, providing kits for refugees who are moving into their first-time apartments. We do focus on basic needs. This year, we've made a big emphasis on teen mental health and senior mental health. We try to offer different opportunities to the various volunteers or to people who just need something worthwhile to do. We started a teen council. We now have 30 kids on this council. And we'll be reaching out, doing a ton of different projects, but specifically working with Alcove and some other great organizations to focus in these areas. 160 projects, there's something for everyone. We feel like it's our job to build a strong, compassionate, purposeful community, and we believe we can do it. We started with 300 volunteers. We're now at 4,000. I actually think we have a movement going on, and I'm honored to be here. Every one of you supervisors that are here represented are touched by the work that we do with Compassion Week. Your organizations, your community that you represent is stronger because of the wonderful volunteers and because of the organizations who day in and day out do this hard work. So thank you for this honor.
Thank you, and let me pull my colleagues down for a photo quickly. Thank you, Jan. Supervisor Chavez, Supervisor Lee, Supervisor Ellenberg, Supervisor Redina.
Really lovely.
Thank you once more, and now I turn it back over to Supervisor Ellenberg to conduct the remainder of our meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Our final and arguably most exciting agenda item is number 10, where we have the opportunity, where the county executive has the opportunity to present certificates of appreciation to Employee Excellence Award honorees for September 2024. I'll invite the honorees to come take a seat here, and with my apologies, I have to go attend a memorial service for my dear friend Barbara Fank, but I am leaving you in good hands with the rest of the board, and Supervisor Lee will be an excellent stand-in for all the photo ops. Thank you very much, everyone. Congratulations to the awardees, and with my apologies, I have to step away.
Thank you, President Ellenberg. If I could have the honorees come join me at these chairs to my right and left. So today is part of our agenda every month where we have an opportunity to recognize some of our truly extraordinary public servants here at the county. And today you're going to hear a little bit about our colleagues from the Office of the County Executive, the Office of the County Council, Facilities and Fleet Department, Office of the Sheriff, Social Services Agency, the County Health System, Department of Planning and Development, Parks and Recreation Department, and Consumer and Environmental Protection Agency. So what I will do is I will call you up one at a time, read something nice about you from your department, and then after I do that, you'll step behind me. Vice President Lee will hand you your certificate and take a photo with you. When we're done, we'll all take a group photo together with the full board. So, and please feel free to cheer for everyone. We first have Kim Lian Lei. As a senior management analyst in the Office of Women's Policy in the Office of the County Executive, Kim Lian has been instrumental in the success of the Caregiver Returnship Program pilot. This employment program places individuals who have taken a career break due to caregiving obligations into a 9-month placement with the county, offering a potential pathway to permanent employment. Her successful track record at the county includes developing and launching the Intern and Earn 2.0 program at the Social Services Agency and implementing and evaluating an e-consultation service at Valley Medical Center. These achievements, coupled with her experiences as an immigrant, made her the ideal leader for the Caregiver Returnship pilot. Her proactive outreach and communication contributed to a strong start for the pilot, which has already attracted 135 applicants. Kim Lian's commitment to the community is demonstrated in many ways, including her unique partnership-driven program planning. This approach ensures her work is customer and client-centered and rooted in the needs of the diverse caregiving community. Her generosity, experience, and unique approach result in a strong and positive culture within the Office of Women's Policy, one that is rich with expertise, mentorship, support, and a commitment to elevating women every day. Thank you for your service. Henry Goss. Henry Goss, a senior leader at the county with more than 8 years of service, serves as lead deputy county counsel for the workers' compensation team in the Office of the County Council. His leadership has been instrumental in the team's reputation as they consistently deliver exceptional legal services to the workers' compensation division of the Risk Management Department. Henry oversees legal proceedings related to workers' compensation claims filed by county employees. Henry and his team have a proven track record of success, having represented the county before the State Workers' Compensation Appeals Board in a variety of cases, including industrial disability retirement appeals and third-party subrogation claims. Henry's expertise in workers' compensation is evident in the hundreds of cases he has resolved through a range of methods, from litigation to informal resolution, arbitration, and mediation. Colleagues, clients, and opposing counsel admire Henry's uncompromising integrity and commitment to justice. Henry invests in his colleagues and is a fantastic mentor, sharing his knowledge and expertise freely. His team members know he is always available to answer questions or discuss an issue, and they deeply value his brilliance, dedication, and empowering approach to leadership. Congratulations. Michelle O'Carriot. LaChelle's an executive assistant in the Facilities and Fleet Department who is known for her integrity, leadership, and positive attitude. LaChelle's adept at managing tasks and deadlines. She provides clear direction to her team and fosters a cohesive and supportive environment that enables every member of the team to shine. LaChelle has a reputation for honesty and ethical conduct in all her interactions, and she's dedicated to providing high-quality services. Her problem-solving skills and commitment to improvement make her an invaluable asset to the department. LaChelle's cheerful disposition lifts the spirits of her colleagues and promotes camaraderie among staff. Her ability to deliver results while maintaining a sunny outlook is an inspiration to members of her team. All these qualities make LaChelle a role model who's trusted and respected by her colleagues. Thank you. Winston, too. Winston? No. Winston has a storied career with the county that began more than 3 decades ago. He served for the past 11 years as a rehabilitation officer in the sheriff's office, where he advocates for the justice-involved population. Winston is dedicated to making sure his clients link up to various services provided by outside agencies. His work helped lead to Elmwood Correctional Facility being honored recently with the Partner of the Year award by local nonprofit, the Pro Bono Project. In addition to his exemplary work with clients and county contractors, Winston has a strong relationship with colleagues and often goes out of his way to support junior staff during their onboarding. Those who have worked with Winston over the years know that he can be counted on to support them with resources and guidance drawn from his wealth of experience. That positivity goes beyond direct colleagues. Winston recently took on a big role in a collaborative effort with the probation department involving services from an outside agency. When obstacles popped up, Winston voluntarily took on added responsibilities to ensure not only that the inmates' participants' needs were met, but also that probation's mission was supported. Winston consistently takes part in community events outside of work hours that promote the county mission, such as Rise Up and Run and events in the Sheriff's Wellness Campaign. Above all else, Winston shows up every day with a positive attitude and a smile, which contributes to a healthy and enjoyable work environment. Well done, Winston. Mariela Manacayo. As the ombudsperson for the Department of Employment and Benefit Services, DEBS, Mariela's primary duty is to investigate and resolve client complaints. Ever since she started in this position in 2016, Mariela has provided exceptional support to community members who rely on safety net services to meet their basic needs. She consistently goes above and beyond in her service to clients. She's a subject matter expert in all DEBS programs, truly an accomplishment by itself, and embodies the values of empathy, integrity, and respect while using a proactive approach to problem solving. For example, Mariela recently handled a case where her client's husband needed surgery, but the family could not afford it due to a large Medi-Cal copay. After reviewing the case with the client, she determined that the household was potentially eligible for a Medi-Cal program specifically for disabled members of the workforce. She explained the program in detail to the client, making sure they knew exactly which documents needed to be submitted. In the end, the family's case was reevaluated and they were eligible for the program. The client's husband got the much-needed surgery, which was a life-changing event for the family. Thank you for your service to the community. Audrey Madoui. Audrey is an invaluable member of the county health system who oversees the patient privacy program for O'Connor and St. Louis regional hospitals. She joined the county when the medical centers were purchased in March 2019, but her history of public service with the hospitals goes back much further. She's extremely knowledgeable in matters of compliance and patient privacy rules as they apply to the health system. Working out of the Ethics, Privacy, and Compliance Office, Audrey manages all potential and actual privacy breach investigations, reporting to federal and state agencies in a professional and timely manner. She's committed to patient privacy, generating a sense of trust in the health system for the patients it serves. She's also a valuable resource for colleagues, providing guidance and leadership to her team, as well as staff throughout the health system to ensure they are aware of complex healthcare privacy and compliance regulations. Audrey is willing to step in and help on any project, mentoring other staff to support their professional development. She's a fabulous team player, dedicated, loyal, hardworking, high-performing, and highly ethical, always taking accountability for areas she oversees. She's also reliable and efficient. All those qualities add up to one excellent employee and an asset to the health system, the county, and the patients we serve. Congratulations. Jennifer Hughes. Jennifer's been a high-performing psychiatric nurse with the Santa Clara Valley Medical Center for more than 11 years. An inaugural member of the behavioral response team, Jen is especially adept at de-escalation when dealing with aggressive and assaultive patients and teaching her colleagues how to do the same. Jen has been instrumental in onboarding new staff at Valley Medical Center and O'Connor Hospital and has single-handedly reduced the number of violent incidents at the facilities. On multiple occasions, she's received praise and adulation from nursing staff and management. Jen excels in other aspects of her performance, embodying a never say no and can-do attitude. She has built strategic working relationships with multiple levels of staff, including physicians and frontline workers, and was integral in establishing the behavioral response team. She was a speaker at the National Nurses March in Washington. She's a member of the American Psychiatric Nurses Association, and she's a dedicated advocate for the LGBTQ+ community. She's passionate about personal growth and plans to pursue a master's degree in nursing while continuing to support the behavioral response team and inspire her team members. Thank you. Thank you. Leilani Locker. Leilani is a program manager for the Planning and Development Department, where she's known for her passion for public service, exemplary leadership, and commitment to the county's core values. Leilani supervises the department's permit center, leading with integrity and dedication. She consistently prioritizes the needs of the public, exceeding departmental standards. She leads by example, regularly assisting customers at the counter. She also serves as a liaison for all divisions in the department, helping the public with inquiries about projects and sharing her knowledge. As a leader, Leilani fosters open communication and sets high standards. She advocates for the needs of her staff and serves as a mentor, skillfully adapting to the diverse personalities, communication styles, and individual needs of her team. She is humble, decisive, and willing to delegate, guiding her team with grace and efficiency. She exemplifies 4 of the county's core values in particular: ethical conduct, a commitment to high-quality service, fiscal responsibility, and valuing the community. She also embodies the county's core values of knowledge, accountability, proactivity, empathy, and respect. Lonnie's a natural choice for this award. Thank you for your service. Kenny Carlotta. Kenny is a skilled and devoted park maintenance supervisor who's contributed greatly to the success of the maintenance program within the Parks and Recreation Department. Kenny was promoted last year to Region 3 supervisor. In this role, he's proposed program improvements that improve efficiency and enhance the park visitor experience. For example, Kenny suggested a way to modify the water system at Mount Madonna County Park that will make it safer and more reliable, improving operations, water quality, and public safety. He's also contributed to the implementation of the department's computerized maintenance management system for planning and monitoring maintenance activities. Kenny is a tremendous leader and team player who is always willing to coach and mentor fellow employees. He routinely goes above and beyond his regular duties and has a knack for solving complex maintenance problems. His dedication to public service makes him a role model for colleagues in the department. Congratulations. Thank you. Last this afternoon, but certainly not least, we have Lawrence Gomez. Lawrence oversees the planning, organization, and direction of the Animal Services Center for the County Consumer and Environmental Protection Agency. His work is vital in establishing and maintaining relationships with community groups and external agencies related to the functions of the Animal Services Center. His efforts have significantly improved the lives of countless animals and fostered a stronger, more compassionate community. Lawrence is known for his willingness to tackle any task, from the simplest to the most challenging. His deep passion for animals extends beyond his professional duties, and he's a well-respected figure in the rescue community. He actively promotes stakeholders' understanding of the center's mission and is attentive to addressing their needs. Lawrence is committed to excellence and seeks ways to enhance the satisfaction of his team, the community, and the rescue organizations with which the center collaborates. Lawrence's dedication ensures smooth operations, even if it means working on his days off to provide coverage. He frequently goes above and beyond to facilitate animal rescues, whether through long drives, late-night preparations, or coordinating interstate transport. Lawrence is deeply appreciated by staff and volunteers who recognize his genuine care and accountability. Thank you, Lawrence. Let's give a huge round of applause to all of our award recipients. I'd like to invite the board to come join me for a group photo with everyone.
Chairs backwards. Stand up, move the chairs back.
Yes, for awardees. Any more?
How are you doing?
This was very surprising. It was a shock.
Okay, then. It's all about you.
Yeah, it's about you, that's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You just have to adjourn.
All right, moving to the last item is the closing. The move to the adjourn to the Board of Supervisors meeting on to Tuesday, September 10th at 9:30 tomorrow morning, right here, same place, same channel. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Yes.
There you go. Thank you, Autumn.
Yes, you're welcome.